I'm Ramsis.
And I'm the Vespor.
And we're here to bring you another episode of Back in Time, where we take a look at something from the past that we still enjoy to this day. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as we bring you many more of these Back in Times in the near future. Today's subject will be PSAs Part 2. Alright, so we had so much fun doing our first look at public service announcements, and I think we all are a little wiser now. We learned something. It's time to take another look at some PSAs because we left so many out and we have so many more lessons to teach all of you, our good viewers here.
Let's hop right on in to our next batch of PSAs, and there are plenty to go through from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond.
So for our first PSA, it's going to be animated. You know we like cartoons here, and this is another example of what they used to do in the 80s. Use cartoon characters to teach us a very important lesson. Now this lesson is something about this brand new technology that was on the market this time. Brand new, that's right. Don't worry, we have a lot of animals that are going to teach us all about these brand new, unbelievable pieces of machinery that every home can one day have if you're lucky. This is gonna be great. I can't wait to learn what this mysterious computer is.
Computers are coming your way.
Computers? For paying bills?
Mothers, too.
Bah, humbug.
Wow. Let me try it.
Where is that stuff? I can't find our vacation plans.
Well, get organized, Dad, with a database management system.
A data what?
It's a computer program that helps you organize information, save it, and sort it so you can find what you want.
All that?
Sure, it's like a filing cabinet. I store a list of all my comic books, and the program even alphabetizes them for me. Tabby keeps track of all her tapes. Mom uses it to store her favorite recipes. And Stanley keeps a record of all the flowers he's planted and their scents. Not to mention our vacation plans.
Maybe it can help me with a household budget.
For tapes.
For recipes.
For flowers.
And lots of other stuff, all on one disk.
A database system is a great way to get organized.
See you soon.
Well, did you learn everything about the computer, Vespor?
Oh, wow. Look at all this fancy new technology, like 5-inch floppy disk.
Wow, this is so futuristic. And the way he whips that disc out of this gigantic box, and the father's so impressed. Wait a minute, something's not right here. Father, did I say father?
Let's see here. There's a raccoon, and then a rabbit father. Mom's a squirrel, the sister's a cat, and the uncle is a dog. So I'm going, wow, what magical land is this?
Wait, where's the dog fit into all this? What is going on here?
Well, all I know is that originally computers were designed for only databasing. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
no initiative games or anything else.
No, just databasing. So you gotta spend like $1,000 because, you know, computers were very expensive back then. And then you can just do text-based stuff pretty much with this gigantic floppy disk.
And I don't know any kid that's going to use one of these things to database their freaking comic books they keep in those nice, good old-fashioned cardboard holders.
And what are some of these comic books called? Super Raccoon, Bat Bunny, Mouse Drake, and Green Hair.
Wait, let's take a look at what the music is for the sister.
Boy Gerbil, Puss in Boots,
Doggy Bow Wow, Lion Rabbit.
And now why is the dog keeping track of the flowers it's sniffing?
Yeah, shouldn't it be since how strong they are? Beyond all this silliness, the fact of the matter is that you better watch out, America. Computers are coming for you.
These PSAs are not going to teach you how to play games. They're going to teach you about all the educational and informative things you can do with an old 1983 computer.
Well, I'm still sitting here wondering where the crocodile who introduces us to computers comes from. Is she like an aunt or a cousin?
Yes, that was Computer Critters. Time stops for nobody. We're moving on to the next one. And now we're going to have a very, very famous PSA. You know, we went a little corny and silly for our first one. Now we got to get serious again. We really are trying to teach important lessons here about drugs. All right, this is going to be one that I think all of you who grew up in the late 80s are going to be able to quote. I can tell you right now, I learned it by watching you. That's the all I have to say, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. 1987, Partnership for a Drug-Free America. Here we go.
It's yours?
No,
Your mother said she found it in your closet.
I don't know. One of the guys must have...
Must have what?
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not...
did you get it?
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
Hold hold on a second. Just wait a freaking second. Look at this father. He's obviously a blue-collar worker, works hard. Look at all the stuff in his kid's room. He's got enough of an income that his wife can stay home and work, because why else would she be in his closet putting away his clothes? And you're telling me he's going to be just sitting out in the living room just hitting a doobie?
If the son's not able to get away with it, how is the husband able to get away with it? That's the question I have. She's so mysterious about what the kid is doing, but it seems like he's been doing it much longer than the kid has been doing it.
According to all the PSAs we see at this point, shouldn't his hair be falling out, his teeth falling out, and him looking like a skeleton for doing drugs?
I agree. So the twist of this commercial is the dad is the bigger drug user than the kid who's being accused of it, and the father's questioning him because the father did it all along. But it doesn't make any sense. If the wife was that mysterious, wouldn't she have realized that the father is just as bad a drug as he is? I don't understand it. Clearly a cigar box, and there's just random bags and stuff in it. I guess.
So like I said, it's just weed. You know, the drug that nowadays is talking about being legalized because it's literally that bad of a drug.
The commercial's effective because it's trying to teach parents, not kids, but parents to be careful because your kids are going to become druggies like you. I get that message. But in the context of this commercial, the father, if he's a big druggie, would he really be that concerned that his son is a druggie? Or would he be like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, just don't tell your mother that we're doing this, you know, as long as she doesn't know, we'll be fine. You know?
But it's obvious if he's being seen in the public, it's like he doesn't care. So this is one of those PSAs that didn't come off the correct way in trying to deliver its message. It just makes it seem like, hey, I'm just a big old hypocrite.
All kidding aside, the memorable part of this commercial is at the end where we have the big catch up. I learned it from watching you and the expression on the father, the feels, and the, oh my god, the father was a druggie too. And that's the message they're trying to get across in this whole commercial here. But yep, let us know what you thought of this one. We're going to move on to the next one. That's a lot of fun. And now we're going to return to a PSA sponsor that we used last time. It's going to be a continuation PSA. Now this time it's going to be safety in the bathroom. That's right, this is going to be Tweety Bird teaching us about the dangers of the bathroom. In Shriner Hospital, be careful in the bathroom.
Message from your Shriners Hospitals.
This bathroom could be the most dangerous room in the house. A lot of kids are seriously burned by scalding hot water in bathtubs. Small kids should never ever take a bath without a grown-up watching them closely. First of all, run cold water into the tub. Then add hot water to warm it up. Kids always want to play with the faucets. And hot water on their tender skins can scald. Hot water can burn in less than 3 seconds.
Alright, wait a second here. Got no problem with this one. Why did the bathtub suddenly turn into a literal Looney Tunes boiling pot of water? Didn't you know, kids, that when you turn on the cold water, it comes out blue, but when you turn the hot water hot, it also mixes in red, so you have red and blue coming out of your faucet?
You can paint your water. That's kind of cool.
Did you also notice that? Tweety had a little towel there.
So Tweety's making a bath for himself, I guess, is what we're supposed to expect here.
That's one heck of a pot for him to boil himself in.
This cauldron on top of logs of fire. Tweety's going to take a nice bath in that.
Folks, don't buy a house in the 1970s. This is your bath right here.
I think this is hilarious.
Oh, wow, look, I just noticed it
Even
too.
the faucets light up?
Yeah, I guess it's one of these modern bathrooms. Well, folks, I'll tell you right here, the secret to know if your water's too hot is when your cauldron that you're going to take your bath in suddenly develops sharp teeth, turns bright red, and tries to eat you.
I like how in these Shriners hospitals, they always do the zoom in. That's how evil and large I am by filling up the whole screen. The saucepan did the same exact thing. So yeah, we love these commercials. They're very memorable. It was all over the 80s. They played these all the time. Did they teach you anything? I always turn the cold water on first. It is true. Tweety did teach me to put the cold water first before adding the hot water.
And so now, let's go on and head to our next PSA, which is Zach of all trades. He's a fictional character that's actually voiced by Luther Vandross.
Oh, that's cool, Vespor.
And we're going to show you one of them now called the Future Blob.
Made in 1985. Can't wait to see this one. Here we go.
Don't pout, check it out. Zach's gonna show you what work's about.
It's the blob, it's the blob.
I am the future blob.
Without a job, without a job.
I am the future blob.
What can I do?
No need to panic, no need to get scared. You can make the future by being prepared. Ask what do I like to do? What jobs are suited to me?
I like to skate. I like to go bowling. But my favorite hobby is cutting and sewing.
You can get going, plan a business sewing. It's your job, your future job. There are many jobs you can train for. Seamstress tailor, costume designer, alterations, pattern maker.
I am the blob, the future blob.
It's no blob when you plan for a job. Don't career and get paid. Do your job, plan for a future job, and you won't fear the mean old future blob.
So am I to get this straight that he's singing about what type of careers can you do? So the kids watching this, and remember, this is Saturday morning cartoons. I want you to remember these are 8 and 9 and 10-year-olds watching these cartoons. They're going to teach you about what careers you're going to do when you're done with college, pretty much. Is that what I'm understanding here?
Well, what I'm getting is from this is totally different from what you're getting. First of all, I'm noticing that this girl is just listening to music on her Walkman, as she has skates, which you don't see anybody doing much anymore.
No.
And she's just totally not worried at all about the future until this living smog comes up and starts going, I'm the future blob. And then this man just appears writing music from a nearby radio to inform you about the future blob and to tell you what's the things you like best: skating, bowling, and sewing.
Sewing! Alright, well that's the only thing we're going to focus on because the rest of the jobs suck. Yeah, so you're going to have to become a seamstress or a tailor. You're only going to be able to use this sewing machine from now on, and I'm sorry you enjoyed other things, but life sucks and we got to get your career because I appeared out of the garbage from nowhere and now you got to do what I say.
And this girl looks like she's like not even a teenager yet.
So pick one of those careers because that's all you're capable of doing. You're a kid, you can't learn any other abilities by the time you're done with college except for this sewing that you say you like. I'm like, really? Is that the lesson we are to learn in all this?
That is exactly the lesson, because Zach's trying to teach how to not be afraid of that future blob.
Even Doc Brown taught us that the future isn't written. It's whatever you make of it. So what do you mean future blob? This future blob could be anything you want it to be.
It's not a good PSA because we've seen some of the other ones tell you to name 4 things you like, and then they take a look at each one and say, well, can I make a job out of this or not? This one's just like, nope, skating and bowling is total child's play. Sewing is the way to go. These PSAs are awesome in the fact that Luther Vandross sang them, and he actually did want to help people find jobs. So, I mean, this is one of those few times where there's actually people that got behind these and want to try and make the world a better place, but it went about it in the wrong way.
The best part of this is the songs. It is so catchy. It's actually a very memorable song, and I'm not going to sing it because Vespor will kill me again.
Yes, I will.
I'll save the songs for another day, but it's a very catchy song. I love the Future Blob song, and I love the one from the other Jack of all trades. The songs are so memorable, and that's the best part of it. When you're in between cartoons, at least you get a fun song to watch while you're waiting for the cartoon to show. That's the way I looked at these things.
And speaking of hearing these things, let's move on to the next one.
And now we're going to learn something very important. Drink water.
Wait, what? Drink water? Why do we need a PSA about drinking water?
Well, Vespor, if you let me show you two, I picked out this one because I think it's a very important lesson.
You don't know how to drink water?
Yes, I know how to drink water. I've been drinking my whole life liquids. I know how to drink water. It's not teaching you how to drink water. It's teaching you that you should drink water, all right? From the 1970s, we have an ABC early Saturday morning PSA about that you should always drink water when you have a choice for drink. That's it. Yes, here we go.
When you get up to get a drink, you really ought to stop and think about the way to quench your heavy thirst. The refrigerator's loaded, but before you grab a soda, why not try a big wet glass of water first? Cold water is a drink that you can trust. No one's ever lost a tooth from rust. So try to drink 6 glasses, put down between your classes when you're thirsty. Reach for water, you know you really ought to. It's the best no-calorie drink in all the world.
So there you go, Vespor. Drink water. You see all the soda she had in the refrigerator? That's what you have in your refrigerator whenever I visit you here in the Vespors Retro Reviews recording studio. Soda, 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 soda. What about water? Look at this.
Do you know why I have nothing but soda? Let me pull out this list of suggestions from my one employee that says soda, 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 soda.
Gee, I did you actually get that? Well, you know, that was before I remember this PSA. You see, now I've gone on drinking just water. Let me hide this soda can here. Yes, so I've just been drinking water from now on because this PSA taught me that it's good. It's the healthiest drink ever. Your teeth never went bad from rust. You see, that's what they say right there.
Your teeth don't rust, though, because rust is oxidation.
Yes. Now, the problem with this is she's drinking tap water. We're in the 2020s here. You don't drink tap water. That's the nastiest, most disgusting stuff. You got to drink bottled water. I mean, come on. You have to at least filter it, right? You can't just turn on the faucet and drink that nasty city water.
Wow, you are absolutely so much a city slicker.
Well, you know what they put in that water.
Well, actually I do, and that's why I drink bottled water.
But how come she only has soda in her cabinet? Like, even regular people in the 80s and 70s had soda, yes, but you had a lot of other choices. You had, like, Sunny Delight, and you had the purple stuff next to it.
And there must be something wrong with that school water fountain because it's just launching into outer space when she turns it on.
And she's laughing about this, too.
And here's something else else we didn't know. She's apparently a superhero because she can stretch her arm from her seat to the kitchen to get a glass of water. Overall, a simple PSA, and truth be told, people today need to watch this more than people back then because you need to drink a lot more water, folks.
I see what the point of this PSA was. It's trying to say, yes, you have lots of delicious tasting drinks, but don't forget water is actually a good drink also to have. Really, nothing beats a nice, refreshing glass of water. I agree with it.
Or Brondo. It's what the plants crave.
Oh, brother. Well, Vespor, I hope you learned something, and I hope I was able to teach our audience something before we move on to the next one.
But you know what? Enough about water. Let's talk about something much more serious. Let's talk about Make It Click with Ronald McDonald. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking with Make It Click, that's right, this is the 80s. It's seatbelts.
Oh, that's right, seatbelts. That was a very big deal in the early 80s. Yeah, from 1983, Ronald teamed up with the National Safety Council. Ronald and friends are going to teach us a very, very important early 80s lesson from 1983, Make It Click. And this was something we all had to learn because seatbelts were becoming a national law in the United States that everyone had to wear seatbelts in their cars.
Ronald McDonald says make it click. Every single time you get in the car, do a quick little trick, make your seatbelt click. When you pick up your friends, show them the trick. Make a rule to make it click. Because you never know. It's not funny when you fake it. It's a rule. You just don't break it. Make a rule and make it stick. Make a rule. Make it click.
Wow, you know, so Ronald drives an invisible car. He's now the father to the Hamburglar. Wow, I didn't realize all that.
Oh my god, I just realized something now. Ronald is a killer clown because the killer clowns didn't have real cars. They drove around in the invisible cars.
Oh, you're right. But then again, don't forget the captain was driving an invisible boat. So what does that say? That he's just...
Don't go to McDonald's, folks. They'll use their cotton candy guns to turn you into cotton candy and eat you.
So now, did you learn something important from that? You see, seatbelts were important, and they wanted to teach kids not to fake it. And then look at what happens if you don't. You can go flying through the invisible air into nothingness. So you got to buckle the seatbelt.
This hamburger looks a little bit different. Look at his hair. He looks like he's just going to kill you in like a back alley.
This is the old look of the McDonald Land characters from the early 80s. They look very different from the ones you're used to in the later 80s.
Captain Crook, and then you see the death of Hamburglar here.
I don't know what Ronald's powers are, but he seems to have a lot of powers in these commercials, and I guess one of them he can reverse time because he just put it in reverse and he backed up time. So that was pretty impressive.
Unlike Ronald McDonald there, we can't stop you from flying through the roof of your car.
Roof of the car? He's driving an invisible car. We don't know. It could be the Flintstones car for all we know where it has an open top. I don't know what this is.
Technically, if he stops suddenly, shouldn't Hamburglar like go into the back of his seat and crush Ronald's face?
Personally, I would have liked to have seen what would have happened. I think that would have been a better lesson if they showed Hamburglar on the ground, like, oh, with the bleeding through, and Ronald saying, see, I told you to wear your seatbelt. Kids, wear your seatbelts or this can happen to you. Wouldn't that have been a more effective commercial?
Yeah, what happens with Captain Crook here?
Did Captain Crook just go around them? Did they hit? I mean, there's so many unanswered questions here. Anyway, wear your seatbelt, folks, or Ronald McDonald will lecture you and say, why didn't you wear your seatbelt?
Well, we know this wasn't Long Island. Do you know how I know that?
No, how do you know that?
He didn't honk and flip him off.
Don't forget to click it. Even nowadays, you should always wear your seatbelt, folks. Like I said, here on Vespor Director Reviews, we joke, but we do want to teach important lessons. Let's move on to the next one.
So, let's go to somebody that we know a lot about, and that's Mr. T with Don't Do Drugs.
That's right. From 1985, when no one was bigger than Mr. T, we have Mr. T in a diner teaching us a very, very important anti-drug message. And if you don't listen to Mr. T, then I don't know what to tell you. Good luck, because he's going to destroy you if you don't listen to Mr. T.
You know what I say to that, Ramses? I pity the fool.
I get angry just thinking about it. Makes me mad. Little kids doing drugs, it turns my stomach. That stuff hurts. It stops you from living up to your potential. It holds you back. It hurts the user. It hurts his family. And it hurts his friends. I just want to shake some sense into you kids that are using drugs and thinking about using. So remember, don't, or else. Okay?
Wow, Vespor, I'll never use drugs. I promise. I won't. Please, Mr. T. I'm sorry. I will never use drugs.
Holy crap, Ramses! I didn't realize that Mr. T came up to you, shook you, and threw you on the ground.
It did say New York, didn't it?
If I see you, I'll go and punish you. And then after he does it, just like any state employee, he smiles at you and says, "Okay."
The crowd around him watching after he shook the poor cameraman down to the ground. And knows how when he breaks the glass, the waitress comes running to clean it up. She's like, "Oh, I got this. Yes, Mr. T. Whatever. Yes, I'll clean it up for you."
This is just one of those things that you just cannot forget about.
I think this is very effective. I don't remember this one. I did grow up in New York, so I am very sure they played this in New York somewhere.
I just love the fact that he's smiling about it. The rest of them are like, "Yeah, it serves you right." And you're laying on there going, "I just took Tylenol. It was just Tylenol."
Actually drugs, sir. No, we love Mr. T here. That's why we picked this one. Anytime we get to see Mr. T with extra footage, we are going to take advantage of it. And he was so 80s and so iconic. This was great. You knew they had to do something with Mr. T in a PSA because he just provides such bravado and importance and strength to his voice that you're going to listen to whatever this man has to say.
Well, and also another thing about it is he was always about helping the kids no matter what. And for that, we always respect Mr. T for that. And he's trying to do this to help people understand don't do drugs. And you know what? It came across pretty good, especially when he grabbed me by the throat and took me to the ground like that.
Right, when he's strangling you on the way down. You're very effective. I wonder if it was Murdoch. Did you ever think of that?
That would make so much sense. Let's move on to another little PSA that you may know something about.
Oh yes, the crash test dummies. Of course, everybody knows Vince and Larry. They're iconic. They are the PSA of all PSAs.
It did do enough to spawn off video games and its own cartoon show.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool. Yes, that's right. From the late 80s and well into the 90s, we had Vince and Larry, the crash test dummies. Here we go, Vince and Larry teaching you the importance of car safety. That's right, that's what they do. Here we go.
Hey, thanks to these airbags here, this job is now a piece okay, Claire.
But Vince...
Yeah, I'll tell you something, partner. I just might stick around a few more years.
But Vince...
No more dashboard du jour or Vince under glass, huh?
But Vince... Look out! Even with airbags, Vince, you still gotta remember to buckle your safety belt.
Now you tell me.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I would like to say that that's not necessarily true. You don't necessarily learn a lot from a dummy because you're usually looking at the dummy and go, I wouldn't do that.
No, you can learn a lot from the dummies, man. So that's what they just said. Airbags are great, but you still have to wear your seatbelts because you get hit by the side, it can still kill you, even if you're saved by the airbags. Now, what are the chances that you're going to hit someone in the front and then another car is going to hit you on the side at the same time? That probably wouldn't happen that much, but it could happen on a freeway, I guess, right?
Absolutely, anything's possible. The reason that these crash test dummies PSAs were so popular is just because they were so silly, over the top, just a bunch of idiots acting about what's going to happen to them and just making light of the situation.
Everyone remembers these commercials if you grew up in the 80s and 90s because they were everywhere. They would play these nonstop, and it was always a different lesson about seatbelts and where to sit and be careful in the car and all that stuff. It was always buckle your seatbelt, learn a lot from a dummy, and they would always wind up getting wrecked somehow at the end, and that was the lesson. You don't want to be this crash test dummy. So it was very effective, but it was also very funny, and I don't know how effective a funny PSA is because we're laughing with them. We're not even laughing at them, we're laughing with them because it is funny that these two jokesters just continue to not follow the rules and then they get beat up for it at the end, and that's what we look forward to. We don't look forward to lesson, we look forward to seeing how they can get destroyed this time in the PSA.
I mean, there's toys, games, TV shows. People really like these, and this was unusual for a PSA to spawn anything like this.
It really is. It's crazy. And also, don't forget, there was a very familiar voice who played Larry in this. Do you know who that voice was? We mentioned him in some of our other episodes.
It's the voice of Garfield.
And Peter Venkman in The Real Ghostbusters.
That's right.
Lorenzo Music. Yes, very memorable voice. So whenever you hear Lorenzo Music's talk, you think of Garfield right away, because that was the most iconic Garfield voice. Larry comes off as a straight man, and Vince comes off more as the loose cannon of the two, I would say, right?
That's right. It's sort of unusual for a PSA to use comedy like this, but it does get itself across better, I think, this way.
I don't know if these dummies really helped save lives. I'd like to believe they did, but I just don't see it. I don't see this as an effective PSA. I see it as memorable, amusing, the characters are lovable, and the situations are, but I don't see this as very educational.
You know what was effective at making us wear our seatbelts?
No, what was?
After our parents got us a ticket for us not wearing seatbelts, and they informed us it's state law now, well, so there you go. Money's the real reason why people started wearing seatbelts. Ramses, now that we've discussed this wonderful PSA, you said you found another special PSA to end this on.
Yes, that's right. You motivated me so much last time in our first edition of our PSA lookbacks. If you thought that the mystery PSA we did in the last one was effective, I have one that will double it, triple it, and be much more effective in what goes on in this time with that same egg. So I'm going to give you another clue. It has eggs in it again.
Well, is this a chicken PSA?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let's find out what old Ramses was able to find for Vespor this time. Here we go.
This is your brain. And this is heroin. This is what happens to your brain after snorting heroin. And this is what your body goes through. Wait, it's not over yet. This is what your family goes through. And your friends and your money. And your job. And your exactly your future. And your life. Any questions?
All right, Vesta, so there you go, a follow-up to the original This Is Your Brain on Drugs commercial with Leia Cook.
First of all the PSAs about drugs, she's the only one that looks like she's actually on drugs.
Oh, it's a very effective PSA then, isn't it?
And then my next thought is, who is this crazy woman destroying this house with a frying pan?
I'll be honest, I like the original better than this. I just thought it was such a funny follow-up that they were like trying to be all edge and hip now. Oh, yeah, that was effective. Watch us really bang this egg and destroy everything now.
And you can tell this is a 90s commercial just by the fact they're trying to be so doggone edgy about it. I understand what they're doing with it. I understand, hey, drugs will destroy you and your future and everything around you. But the other guy that did the first one we showed was simple, straightforward, goes, oh, you don't know about drugs? Here, let me explain this to you. This person comes off as a condescending person that you would not piss on if they were on fire and put them out.
Exactly. I think this is great. It does show how bad drugs are and you'll ruin your whole life and everyone around you. That is true, yes. But is it more effective than simply saying, this is your brain on drugs? Any question? I mean, that's it. You will fry your brain if you use drugs. That's it. It's simple and to the point. You can't get more simple than that.
Like I said, I remember this PSA and I didn't like it then. I still don't like it now because I thought it was absolutely stupid. I mean, you're having an angry woman just destroy your kitchen.
And on that note, I think we're going to end this edition of Revenge of the PSA. Again, if you have some favorites you want us to review, please let us have them. We will definitely take a look at them, but we're definitely going to be back with more of these. And let us know which of these you liked, if any, and what thoughts you have overall. We had a lot of fun doing it. We always like teaching our audience some important lessons, quote unquote. We'll see you all next time, Vespors Retro Reviews. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and
ring that bell. And don't do drugs, folks.